Browns GM Andrew Berry under fire. I think this is a mistake being made. I need the Cleveland Browns front office to come to their senses. Anybody that was on that offensive line needs to be gone. Anybody from last year's offensive line needs to be gone. All sabotagers need to be gone. Okay, it was a travesty. It was a crime what they did to Shedeur Sanders, that being that offensive line. GM Andrew Berry, owner Jimmy Haslam, making a huge mistake here. We have to get into this story. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification and hype the video. Let's get right into things. So it looks like Cleveland Browns have made a contract decision with Joel Bitonio. Here it says the Cleveland Browns have made an important decision involving one of its most respected players in franchise history. He wasn't good last year. According to anybody but Shedeur Mafia member, we know this guy very well, Jason Lloyd. According to a report from Jason Lloyd, the Browns and veteran guard Joel Bitonio have agreed to push the void date on his contract back until the end of the league year in March. The move gives Bitonio roughly 3 more weeks to determine his future after the original deadline passed. Okay, this is the quote. The Browns and Joel Bitonio agreed to push the void date back on his contract until the end of the league year in March, according to a source. It gives Bitonio 3 more weeks to decide on his future. Okay. Bitonio has been a model of consistency since being drafted by Cleveland in 2014. Yeah, but he's cooked. He was awful last year. Through coaching changes, quarterback turnover, and roster transitions, he has remained one of the most reliable players on the roster. A 7-time Pro Bowl selection and team leader, Bitonio has anchored the offensive line during some of the most competitive seasons in recent history. By pushing back the void date, the Browns avoid triggering immediate cap implications while also allowing Bitonio time to decide whether he wants to continue playing. This move keeps flexibility on both sides for Cleveland. This extension of the deadline signals that the team views him as a priority. And that is my problem. Listen. I just don't want nobody back from this offensive line. I want all new offensive linemen, spend some money in free agency, get you some draft picks. This whole offensive line, it was too many sabotagers last season, and anybody could have been in on it. I feel safer with all of them being gone, and this lets you know the Cleveland Browns are wanting Joel Bitonio to return to the team. And it says they are giving him the time he needs to make the right choice. Now the focus shifts to Bitonio, whether he chooses to return for another season or decides it's time to step away. This contract adjustment ensures the decision will be made thoughtfully and in critical offseason for the Browns. When most of their offensive linemen is hitting free agency, clarity on their veteran guard's future will be one of the most important developments to watch. So Joel Bitonio is being welcomed back by GM Andrew Berry and owner Jimmy Haslam if he wants to return. Me personally, you know where I stand. I want all new linemen because I feel like it was too many dudes sabotaging last year, and I don't trust none of them. But let's go over to Ken Carman on 92.3 The Fan as they addressed the state of the defense with new defensive coordinator. Let's see what they had to say about it.
I'm going to go from defending Daryl to going after Daryl. Daryl doesn't seem to be very thrilled, at least by what I saw on the Twitter. We'll find out later tonight, 7 to 9 p.m. The Coach Lance might right some wrongs. Maybe Daryl, the simple fact of, I think a lot of people are looking for somebody they trust within the organization. You trusted the defense. You trusted Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz, I mean, let's be honest, he's a fine football coach. He seems like a fine guy. He showed his ass on the way out. Let's call it what it is. If he would not have acted like that, maybe he'd still be here. Maybe he just doesn't want to be here. But he could have done it a different way.
I took it as he wanted nothing to do with being here anymore.
But if he would have just been like, hey, you know what? I'm leaving early for the day and just left, maybe anybody wouldn't have thought anything of it. Maybe he still would have been like, you know what? I'm not coming back. It's fine. It just didn't go over very well. And he made it so abundantly clear where it's like, you can't bring him back. You just can't do it. We're looking for somebody that we trust. And because it's another outsider, you don't necessarily trust him. Because let's be serious here. Like, there have been some people have looked at this, and I've been very cautionary about this. Some people have said, well, gosh, you got Myles Garrett, you got Grant Delpy, you got Carson Schlesinger. I mean, you got these players here. You got Denzel Ward. I mean, there's too many to mention that you do have some seriously good football players. How could you screw it up? And I'm going, man, some of these guys were on Joe Woods' defense. Joe Woods screwed it up plenty. I mean, we've had talented football. If Freddie Kitchens was the head coach in 2019, that team, you see the talent that team had on it. They were 6-10. And Todd Monken will be the first person to tell you that they screwed up that town. So a bad coach can screw it up. Just because, though, I haven't heard of Mike Rutenberg before this, or heard much of him, doesn't mean he's going to be garbage. I had heard so many good things about Bubba Ventrone. Also that he was on his way to being a head coach in this league when the Browns hired him. And how did the last 2 years go? And I think he was throwing his players under the bus at the end. So we've had guys who have come with tremendous pedigrees in the past that ended up being terrible for us. Terrible. So I'll keep an open mind. I'll be arm's length like I am just about with everybody. So just because I haven't heard of the guy and because it is the Browns, yes, those are 2 strikes. Just because I haven't heard of the guy and the Browns' history says that they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt, doesn't mean that I should just say that this thing's going to be an absolute, total 100% disaster. Even though saying those 2 things would say, Kenny, you should be saying that. I'm still going to try to keep an open mind to this fella. Because I don't know much about him, that doesn't mean I automatically dislike him.
Well, and you're not going to know a lot about any of this staff right now. They have assembled a bunch of first-timers. First-time head coach, first-time OC, first-time DC, first-time special teams coach. And, yes, you can find clips online, all these guys showing a lot of energy, and that's why you can find other guys sharing in their excitement of these guys. So people are proud of them that they were able to get these opportunities. But so the question will be for Todd Monken and this organization, how much can they mitigate the first-time mistakes? We always hear about that. Well, they're going to make rookie mistakes. Okay, well, we were in a situation where we were going to hire a first-time head coach no matter what we did, right? I mean, whether it was going to be this guy, whether it was going to be Udinsky, whether it was going to be Shieldhouse, you were going to deal with a rookie head coach no matter what. The important thing that we had all said is, but you've got to surround the first-time head coach with a bunch of veteran coordinators. Well, they didn't do that. They went with the veteran coach that had never been a head coach, but had been around the league and for a long time, and obviously won both levels. He's won a lot, including national championships in college. But they did not assemble a big-time staff of veteran coordinators. And so we'll see if they'll pay the price for that, or will it be what you would rationalize the opposite to be, which is kind of a new look at everything. So, guys that have never had the opportunity, but maybe had been champing at the bit.
There's going to be risk